Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Zander and Jess Valentine.
Jess, what do people do if they want more Seltzer Squad?
Oh, well, it's pretty easy. All they have to do is become a Patreon.
Patreon? A patron? A Patronus?
A patron on our Patreon.
If you want to be a Princess FOMO, you'll get early access to our episodes every Wednesday instead of Friday. If you want to subscribe to our middle tier, Former Hot Mess, you will receive the bonus monthly audio episode and early access to episodes. And if you indeed are the slickest bitch around, you will get early access, monthly bonus episodes, and you will be able to see all of our episodes now in video format.
This is truly a labor of love, and we want to keep it going. So help support us at patreon.com/Seltzer Squad. Hey, Kate, what is the number one sober tool that we always recommend?
Therapy.
Therapy. And we have recently partnered with BetterHelp. Do you want to tell everyone what that's about?
So BetterHelp is an online mental health platform. Basically what it is, it's an app that you get access to therapists. So you take their short quiz, they match you with somebody in your area, and it's affordable private counseling for individuals and couples anytime, anywhere. You don't even have to leave your house. You don't even have to wear hard pants.
That is amazing.
And what are we giving our listeners?
10% off. Just go to betterhelp.com/Seltzer Squad.
Okay.
Kate, what we doing?
Let's answer some questions, Jessica. We always get weird at the end.
I know. We recorded a couple already, so
We're
we
feeling
are a little
loose.
delirious and too caffeinated, if I may say so myself.
Yes.
Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? Who wants to start?
I'm going to start with Kay.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. I'm recently sober. My company has a huge drinking culture to the point where next week the CEO organized a wine and cheese Zoom event with my department. It's a really small group, and it's the middle of the day, and I have no idea how to avoid it. I know you guys are being big on if you're uncomfortable, just leave, but I'll already be at home because of COVID. When I've quit drinking before, I said no to drinks, but everybody, including my boss, guilt trips me and buys me drinks anyway. Any advice? Ugh.
That's shitty. That's really shitty of them.
I'm also big on making up a lie.
So wait, this is a Zoom event.
Yes, a Zoom happy hour in the middle of a work day.
Okay, like the one good thing is she's not going to physically be around booze.
Yeah, she could pretend that she's drinking if she wants.
But I don't think she should do that because, like, she wants them to know she doesn't drink, right? Like, get it through their head. So I don't think that she should pretend to drink. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Do you even have to attend the event if it's
I
a
guess you would
drinking
have
event?
to come if it's during the work day. I would feel obligated to go as well.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it's even easier over Zoom to be like, yeah, guys, I don't drink. Like, I'm having a seltzer or whatever. Like, it's a little easier to be sassy over with the screen between you.
True. I didn't think about it.
I don't know, but I just feel like I'm annoyed for her that her boss is so pushy.
Yeah. That's annoying.
So I would just like, for me, I would be like hard, like, I don't drink. But again, you don't have to be bitchy about it. But I feel like having the luxury of being at home is nice because you can be a little sassier or just a little sterner with your boundaries.
Yes.
I feel so bad for sober people that have these like work drinking events because it's very bizarre to me. And it seems very common.
Thing.
Yeah, I can't, like, I'm always like shocked when people say that this is like a thing, like a work thing.
Like
I just don't get it.
The Jell-O shot cart that came around, they were like, Kate, do you want a Jell-O shot? And I'm like, no, I don't want a Jell-O shot at 4:00 on Tuesday. And I just sort of like say it back to them.
Yeah.
Like I don't say I don't drink. I'm like, no, I don't want a Jell-O shot. It's Tuesday at 4:00. I'm good. Thanks though.
It's just weird. Like, I know that they think they're being fun and progressive and like trying to keep their employees happy, but it's like
cultural.
Y'all are fucked up. Like, this ain't right.
No, you're right though. You could say no. I think other options, you could have a conflicting, a very important meeting during the time. You could have a doctor's appointment you have to go to. You could
Hmm.
be like, I know on happy hours I've been drinking like a Brooklyn non-alcoholic beer, and then nobody will ask me. And if they ask me, they just say I'm having a Brooklyn. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm more
it's
like
hard
open
'cause I don't
now,
know
so
her
I'm like, I
situation.
don't drink, so I'm having a seltzer is usually like what I would say now, like especially if I was at home. But I like your
Yeah, you can
idea
also
of
just
saying
not
like,
make it.
remember, guys, I don't drink. You could kind of like put them in
Yeah,
their place a little bit. That's good advice.
that's what I would do. But again,
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Just
normal.
FYI, everyone, we are not professionals. We do not claim to be. We are just shitheads answering questions.
With opinions. Yeah. I'm going to read a different K. Do you ever get nervous or worried you'll be judged for leaving a party early? How do you deal with leaving a party or event early when everyone else is drinking and having a good time? I think it depends on the event. I don't I don't care about, I don't think that people are judging for
I
leaving
constantly
early.
care about this.
Okay.
Number one care.
I don't. Personally, I don't. I left my own party.
Yeah, you don't care.
Like,
I
no.
do.
Well, it wasn't really my party. It was my roommate was having a
know.
Halloween party. Kate was there. A couple of my friends were there. And I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm leaving. And I left. It was really easy. And I was like,
not
bye.
that easy. I mean, it is.
Was for me. I mean, you're right. I did have the whole like, is it weird? It's like, it's weirder for me since there were people at my house, so
Yeah.
to speak. But I was just like, this isn't for me. So it's time to go. Like, I was here for a while. I decided
You
I'm
make it
not
sound
having
so
fun.
simple.
It was like having fun intermittently.
Sure.
Like, it was nice chatting with you. It was nice chatting with like Grundle and Al.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But overall, I'm like,
I'm good
it's just
now.
it's gonna get worse, progressively worse from here on in. If it was like 11 or midnight or
Mhm.
whatever, it was like, there's nothing else for me. I'm good. But obviously not everyone is like me. Like Kate obviously just said she has tons. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because it's just what Laws said. Like, goodbye is a complete sentence. And
goodbye is a complete sentence.
that's hard for me.
Just goodbye. I've had a lovely time. Thanks for having me.
I did
have
it
to
at
go
Memorial
now.
Day weekend, though, because I was like, I enjoyed myself, but I was like,
Huh?
I want to go home now and I want to go sit
Yeah.
on my couch. And so,
Mhm.
you know, I got up and I said, I did make an excuse though. And I'm annoyed that I felt like I had to make an excuse where I was like, I got to get
Sure.
up and I got to go to work tomorrow, guys. Like, you know, I'll see you later. And no one cared that I left, but I felt like uncomfortable for probably 25 minutes thinking about wanting to leave and how I'm going to do it.
Yes, like you like could have been at home in pajamas already.
Yes.
But
So I
you
was
took
like,
yeah.
when is the right
So-
time? Who do I, like, where do I go? But I just kind of was like, thanks so much for having me. Like, I'm going to head out now.
So I can't think of a time ever that I was having an event or at an event or out at a bar or anything where someone was like, I'm going to go now. I'm tired or whatever. I'm going to go. I cannot think of a time that I was like, that was really fucking selfish. That was weird. Like, can you?
I think it.
can't
I
ever-
definitely
I was-
think it. I always think like, oh, if they left, were they having fun?
But that's also you just worrying about
Totally.
making it about yourself.
Yes.
You know? I don't know. I love leaving places. Like, I love leaving things. It's just like, because you know that on the other end of that is like true crime TV
Yes.
and like
Your bed.
bed. It's just like, how good does a fucking pillow feel when you like, after you leave a party where people are drunk? It's the best feeling in the world. I don't
No,
know.
you're right.
I like leaving places.
I guess I worry about feeling judged, but now I don't care as much. Like, I'm like, well, I feel like if they're going
I
to judge
don't
me for
think-
leaving, they were going to judge me if I stayed. Like, they're going to judge me anyway. So that's none of my business.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone's really judging. Also, like, if someone's judging you because you want to go home because you're tired or something,
I
is
know,
that
that's
really like
di-
a friend?
That's a different kind of weird for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
nah. Just leave when you want to leave.
Good. Law said.
You could make up a lie if you
True.
want. Like, say your fucking dog needs to be let out. I have dogs. You can. It's a very good excuse. My dog's in the
my
kennel.
Amazon package is coming. I gotta go.
There's like, but yeah, like I have explosive diarrhea. I have to go. Like,
Yeah.
no, but like using your pets, honestly, is a great excuse. Like, oh, I haven't fed my cat.
You could also say, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. It's not as weird. I think if
We're
you
just
think,
anxious people.
yeah,
Like, it
if
makes sense that
I
you're
try
like,
to like time it to where there's like movement going on in the party, so it's less noticeable. Like, okay,
Yeah.
people are. It's not like we're sitting down to dinner and I get up and I'm like, bye. You
Right,
know, it's
right.
like
There's a
that
time.
transition afterwards or whatever when like a couple people went out to smoke cigarettes and like, you know, people are scattered about. Then I'm just like, oh, see you later. Thanks for having me. Good night.
I've definitely Irished also.
And then I like run as soon as I get out because I'm like, oh, I hate this feeling. All right.
So good.
A,
So we have L, A, and D.
I'm going to read A. So
Okay.
I've recently realized I'm drinking way too much, but I'm also antisocial and I don't have any family members who I can relate to. They just ignore my problem. I'm searching online for like-minded people who I can relate to, which is how I found your website /pod. But is there any sort of social media thing that connects alcoholics who are in the same frame of mind who can encourage each other or even fully support people who just want to be mentors for people who drink too much, who just decided to become sober? Is there a website to connect mentors and mentees, honestly, like a dating website, but for alcoholics? Because the most thing in the world I need is someone who I can call and text when I feel like drinking. I don't even necessarily want to do the meetings. I just want someone to connect with when I feel like I'm wanting a drink. Ooh, that's a hard question.
Okay, wait.
So
They
she
want
wants a sober,
are they
but
sober?
she wants like a sponsor, but she doesn't want to go to
the
meetings. Sounds like she wants a therapist to me.
Yeah.
I guess you can't really call your therapist though if you want to drink, but
I mean, we could.
I have you ever done
I don't
that?
know. No, I never have. But I also I'm just saying, like, usually a therapist that specializes in recovery
Sure.
will make sure that they are available.
I'm assuming that there's some boundaries involved there. But yeah, I guess if I was having like a mental
course.
breakdown, I could text Nance and she would
Yes,
be
that's
like,
what I'm
call
saying.
me.
But you can't just like call like willy-nilly.
Right.
But I don't think there's like a website for that. I think that you just need to find your sober people. And the nice thing is that they don't have to be local to you. It can be like a friend that you meet online.
Mhm.
We have a group chat and like we haven't met in person with like those chicks you have, but but the thing is, like, you can text.
Yes.
Texting you can do from anywhere. So just, check out like sober forums, sober Facebook groups. We have our Discord.
We still have a
where
Facebook
you
group
can,
too.
We have a Facebook group. There's Reframe that has, forums on there. There's Addiction Unlimited that she's got forums
You can
on
get a
there.
sober coach.
Yeah, you get a sober coach. Like there's really a lot of options nowadays, which is really nice because I feel like 5 years ago there wasn't. Even if you went on to one of those forums or groups and said, I'm looking for a sober coach, some other people will have, you'll have even
Resources.
more, what's the word?
Support.
Suggestions. Yeah. So that would be where I would start with that. But
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean,
said,
I think
look
you
up
can-
sober coach.
Totally. You can start that on, I would say if you want to, like step one would be go on Insta, start like trolling sober hashtags and see where it leads you. There's plenty of communities at this point that cater to any and all kinds of people, and many of them offer group meetings, online meetings, in-person meetings, coaching, sponsors, sponsee. I don't think that I know of a website where you can just like log in and get a sponsor.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So I would just kind of troll around sober socials until you find something that feels right for you, and or use some of the resources Jess mentioned. There's plenty out there, and I hope that you get the help that you need. But also I would consider looking into therapy in the ways in which it can help you.
Yeah. And you could even try the meetings. You never know. You might like it. If honestly, you could even go to a meeting, get a sponsor, and then like never go to another meeting.
Yeah.
But you'll still have the sponsor. Although your sponsor's probably going to tell you to go to meetings, but you never know.
I think that the oftentimes like the resistance that we feel is also something that we should lean into. Like, so why
Mhm.
don't you like the meetings? Is it really being
Like, let's
antisocial?
explore this
Yeah.
more.
So I would maybe push you to kind of step outside your comfort zone. Like, I don't feel like going to AA meetings was a social event. I felt very much like it was group therapy, and it
Mm.
very much pushed me out of my comfort zone, but also helped me see that there were other people like me, and I needed that at the time. And though I didn't participate in the 12-step program, I still got a lot out of being in those spaces, and codependency meetings helped me so much just by seeing other people that had different but also the same issues that I did, and it made me feel connected. And I consider myself a pretty antisocial person. Those didn't feel like a
There you
party
go.
to me.
Hey, Kate, what's another way that the squad can help support the podcast?
In addition to just listening or signing up to our Patreon, y'all can shop our online merch store, which has a variety of different sober treats, from mugs to sweatshirts to tanks and tees.
Everything.
All of our signature sayings are all over our sober merch. So visit seltzersquadshop.com and check it out.
Treat yourself to something sober while supporting the pod.
Jess, are you listening to any good books?
Right now, I'm actually listening to an Audible exclusive podcast.
Ooh. I'm listening to Blackout by Sarah Hepola.
Oh, I listened to that one back in the day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a huge proponent of Audible. I love listening to Quitlet or really any book. But did you know, Squad, that you can use our discount code to get a free month of Audible? Meaning you get a free book if you sign up.
That's right. Just go to audibletrial.com/Seltzer Squad and get a free month on us. I actually just signed up myself using it.
All right. I'm going to read L. All right. First of all, thank you for being the first sober podcast that I really felt I related to in my first days of being alcohol free. You've stayed on the top of my sober toolbox this entire time, and I anxiously wait for your podcast notifications every Thursday.
Cute. Thank you.
Yeah. My husband and I got married this year in our backyard, pandemic style. We have been together since early 2015, the year we both turned 21. And our relationship seemed to revolve around drinking nonstop. It's relatable. All of our friends drink often, so it seemed normal to us. Kayaking, get drunk. Dinner, get drunk. Birthday, get drunk. Thursday through Sunday, get and stay drunk. Almost
Relatable.
exactly 1 month later, June 28th, 2020, I decided to give up alcohol for good, which I had said many times before, but I could tell that this time was going to be different. Like actually making it more than a couple of days without a drink. Alcoholism and addiction run in both sides of my family, so I've always been aware the extra risk that came along with my binge drinking habits. So, long story short-ish, I haven't drank since 6/28/20, and I tolerated being around our drinking friends fairly well. Just went home when I needed to and skipped some get-togethers if I needed me time. Now, after almost 6 months sober, I'm really getting peeved by some of my friends and realizing the biggest thing I have in common with a few of them was the constant drinking habits, which I have now outgrown. I am growing increasingly lonely during the pandemic because my husband still goes out drinking. Of course, bars are still open until 10 p.m., but some of the grocery stores are closing at 7 p.m. I roll. He doesn't understand why I'm so upset because I am still invited to hang out with everyone, but choose not to go. ... Because number one, hello, alcohol abuse. Don't want to be around it. And number two, COVID. Also, don't want to be around it at gross bars. I just don't know what to do. I have attended some AA Zoom meetings, joined Recovery Elevator. You don't know that one, but still feel alone and stuck. Do you have any advice on how to help my husband understand how I'm feeling? I love y'all.
That one hurts. I can relate.
That's a tricky one. He definitely.
Have you had this fight with Cam? I definitely had this fight with TJ more than once.
About her going out and stuff?
And how it's not fun
No.
for you.
We don't go out. She's very anti going out pandemic. Like we're only like starting to like leave the house. No, luckily that's not a thing. Again, this must be a little bit older, this email, since everything's kind of reopened
Yeah,
again.
this is December. So congratulations on being a year sober. Woo woo.
Yeah. We would like an update,
Yeah.
please, if possible.
Sorry we got to this so late, but send us an update.
It just happened. Sorry. It's a tricky one because I feel like he's just not really being understanding. Like, yeah, she's invited, but she doesn't want to go. And he knows that she's sober. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I feel like he's not being sensitive to her needs. But maybe she should also communicate, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you stayed home with me or if we went and did something differently. Yeah. Also, maybe since this is like a group thing, you can, invite them to something and obviously like not have drinking. However, it sounds like they're just going to bring alcohol. Like if she says like, let's go on a hike or something, they might bring alcohol or go to a movie. I don't know, because I don't know these people. But if she can maybe suggest something that's, not revolved around drinking, maybe that would be good. Or have like, I don't know. It's a little tricky.
I'm calculating her age, so
it
seems like she's around 28, 29-ish, 27-ish now. So
yeah,
she's still in that age where people are very much still going out and going to bars, like even pre-post during COVID, like that you're still very like in your social scene.
Yeah, I feel like it's also, there's no easy answer for this. This is definitely like a relationship issue. I feel like more than it's even like a drinking issue, because not that it's not a drinking issue, it 100% is, but I feel like it comes down to his consideration for her choices and his support and friends too. But I don't know, maybe she needs to speak up a little bit, because I get you don't want to be like the party pooper. You don't want to be like the one person that's like, let's not do this. Like, I feel like maybe she doesn't want to inconvenience everybody with her choice to not drinking. So she's just been removing herself from the situation, but then she's getting a little bit resentful of her husband still continuing to go out. So, I mean, this is just what I'm getting from this email. Like maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. I don't know. I think that I would just try to communicate. If it were me, like my husband, I would just, be like, hey, like it's really hard for me to constantly be like left alone. I know that you're not doing it intentionally, but I'd really appreciate it if like a little more consideration on your part. And maybe we can like do more things that don't revolve around alcohol, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, this email makes me like a little bit emotional, because I can like very much relate and have had this discussion. Like, I think I've said before on the podcast, but my first sober Christmas, I spent in a hotel because TJ kept going out with friends, that like our group of quote unquote friends, that I kind of was realizing that if we took alcohol and going out of the equation, these people weren't really my friends or TJ's, but really I was feeling like, if I was going through something hard, would these people stop partying to like help me go through something hard? Because I am going through something hard and nothing is slowing down. And, it kind of came to a head because I had woken up with like all this excitement and all these plans, and my husband was still in bed hungover from going to the bar till 3:00 in the morning. And I sort of reached a breaking point where I was like, I got to get out of here. I need to get some space. And then I really had to evaluate from like the trying to be as non-dramatic as possible of, is hard. This going to work long term if we continue the way that we're continuing? Because I can't be in that life anymore. And so what is the best thing for me and for us? And how do I communicate that and not be come at it with anger? Because I was extremely mad and frustrated, and it makes you feel so lonely on the outside of that, because you are already feeling like something's wrong with you by having the drinking problem in the first place. And then you feel sort of alienated because you no longer want to go have that fun anymore, but everybody's still sort of hanging on without you. So there's like a double-edged sort of like, by choosing yourself and healthier things, you feel alone. And it seems like he's, I don't know if you guys have had the conversation or if you've thought about, long term, is this person capable of changing and seeing it your way? Like I like literally had to say to TJ, like, this isn't fun for me. These people aren't my friends, and I can't be in this environment anymore. And so we need to make time to spend together. I'm not saying you can never go out and see them, but I'm saying I'm not going to go. Do not put me in a position where they have to feel like they need to ask my permission for you to go. I am not your mom. I am, you know what I mean? Like you're putting the responsibility for whether or not you can go on you. And I'm saying, while I want you to be able to do what you want, I also want you to choose me sometimes. That
yes, exactly.
I want to be chosen not because it's the lame duck option, but because you genuinely want to spend time with the person that I am now becoming. And if that's not what you're interested in, then we should think long term about what's really going on here, because
it feels like shit asking, like feeling like a parent.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I'm not your parent, and it makes me feel like I'm holding you back because you don't want to, you're not doing something, not because it's your choice, but because you don't want to piss me off.
Yes.
That's not doing it for me, really. That's doing it for yourself because you are avoiding a fight that you think would happen. And it's just really difficult when it's like, you're supposed to be my person. Like, I need to feel supported. And I don't feel supported.
Right. Like we would run into them on the street and they would be like, well, are you allowed to come? And like give me the side eye. And I'm like,
it's
not about
rude.
You being fucking allowed to come. It's like, this isn't fun for me. You are not my friend. I will not be going. If TJ, you know what I mean? And of course, then it puts TJ in a weird position, but ultimately he does have to choose who he's going to hang out with. And if that's not me enough times, then I'm going to then remove myself from the relationship because it's not good for me. And I'd rather spend my time with somebody that wants to hang out with sober me versus his drunk friends. So
exactly.
I don't want to say that it's an ultimatum, but for me, it was a very big like realization
but it could be
of
serious conversation.
Totally.
Though.
Yeah. That if you're
and
unwilling.
Also, like, I get that they're still like in their 20s, but you're not getting any younger. Like you're growing up. Like, it's time to act like an adult. Like, okay, you can still hang out with those friends, but do you guys need to be fucking getting shit faced every time? Like, fuck, like, no, like, grow the fuck up.
Yes.
I don't know. There's no easy answer. I really would like an update on this because I'm really curious because I feel like this is a situation that a lot of people are in.
Yes.
And it's really tricky. It's really hard to navigate. And I feel for her so much on so many levels. So please give us an update if you
wish
can.
You well. I hope you're doing okay. And
yeah. I think we can do one more.
I guess as far as the just where to find people, I mean, continue to join recovery groups until you find people that you connect with that you feel comfortable like exchanging information off a platform with. I think you have to like suss out people until you're like, I feel like that could be like a friend of mine, and then try it out like an online date, you know? So keep trying until you find your people. They are out there in mass quantities. You just got to find them. But good luck. Last one.
Do you want to read D?
Sure. D writes, even before I ever thought of getting sober, I still knew how serious sobriety was. If anyone ever hinted to me that they had a drinking problem, I would take it so seriously and never forget, which is why the most shocking thing to me in sobriety is how many people, the majority of people, totally forget that I have a drinking problem. I reminded one of my sisters recently, and she threw her hand over her mouth in the most dramatic fashion, like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. So what does that mean? Can we still drink in front of you? Should I not send Snapchats of alcohol to you?" And I was like, bitch, this is the third time I've told you this. Same with my mom, who, despite being a very light drinker, loves to send me snapshots of new ciders she's trying, plus telling me about all the cool craft beers she's drinking at brunch after her Sunday morning Catholic Mass. I constantly have to tell her, stop talking to me about beer.
Oh
my
God.
emotionally constipated Catholic family definitely loves to ignore problems and has real issues addressing family troubles. Do I need to accept that there are people who I simply cannot count on in my sobriety? Have you had any experiences with this? Not trying to convince people you're not an alcoholic, but just ignoring it 100%. And any advice? Thanks for being in my sober toolkit. So much love, D.
That's hard.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it's like, why are they doing that?
I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it's malicious. It has to. I feel like it's malicious.
I mean,
like, are they forgetting? You know what I mean? Air quotes. Like,
I don't know. I think that it sounds like maybe they're not even, it's malicious. They're just like so self-absorbed or something.
All right. Well, first things first, can you mute or block them on the social media platforms in which they're sending you alcohol content, because if you're like able to sort of like opt out of that content, then I would worry about it when they brought it up to you in real life. Like, did they follow up with, did you see all my Snapchats about cider? Because I would be like, no, I blocked you because I don't drink. I shut that shit off because I found it annoying.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's hard. I feel like it's kind of passive aggressive. Like the throwing the hand over the mouth, like, oh my God. Does that mean I can't drink in front of you? I think my response would be, it's not about you.
Right. But
This isn't about you. And yeah, I would prefer you not drink in front of me, but live your life, lady.
yeah, can I not Snapchat you? I feel like, can I drink in front of you? That's a question that people ask
Okay,
sometimes, right?
fair.
Maybe they're trying to be, I don't know how this girl meant it, but
Mhm.
sometimes people like, it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. Like it can be asked sincerely and it can be asked, like patronizing and all that shit. So I don't know about that, but does this mean that I can't Snapchat you alcohol? It's like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, what do you think? Like, what? Like, what?
Yeah,
like, are
that's
you
exactly
gonna
what
send
it
someone on a
means.
diet?
Yeah.
Photos of like fucking cake? Like, no. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. And they mentioned the Catholicism. I don't know if that has any bearing, like if they're like heavy drinkers or whatever, or have wine with mass. I don't fucking know, dinner. But I don't know. I feel like just an actual conversation has to be had, like a serious conversation. And if they're flippant and try to like, joke about it, you have to like kind of really instill like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, and just you have to like get it through their head that this isn't a joke and that it makes you feel bad. Because I feel like coming from that angle, like this upsets me or it hurts my feelings, whatever comes, you get a better reaction, right? Like it's like, okay,
Versus don't do that.
yeah, I feel like it sucks that you have to like amend how you would bring this up, but they're obviously not getting it. So the approach that has been taken isn't getting through. So maybe if you're like, hey, it like really makes me feel shitty when you do this, like you don't want them to get defensive. You want them to feel bad. So, they say like you can catch more flies with honey or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know, like maybe that approach can be more helpful because they need to fucking learn.
I think, though, to answer the question, do I need to accept that there are people who I simply cannot count on in my sobriety? Yeah. Like, there are definitely people I know I cannot count on that are in my life on a personal level, or whether or not they're my family or my friends. There are certain people that I know aren't going to get it in the way that I need them to get it. And so that's why my sober friendships are so strong, because I know that they'll get it. Like, if so-and-so, my older sister like supports my sobriety 100%, but still will make like wine mom comments. And like, obviously she's not saying that to like be spiteful to me or to be hurtful to me. That's just that like, it's not on her radar. So I would never like condemn her for making those comments, but obviously it makes a note. It stands out to me, but I know that I can then like talk about it with my sober friends and be like, my sister, going on about how she wants to be a wine mom. Like, that's gross or whatever. So I would say, you like find your crew so that you can like trade these. You can send the screenshot of the annoying Snapchat to, so that everybody can workshop it with you, because that's what friends are like, sober friends are for. Is, it makes me think a lot about one of our friends who, drops screenshots from her family of like them just not getting it on a certain level. And then, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love her family or that her family doesn't love her. It's just maybe that they can't get there, and they won't get there for maybe not never, but like, I don't think I can I don't consider my family in my like tight knit group of sober support. They love me, but I don't think that they like can understand all of the levels and triggers and things that I've had to navigate through. Because they haven't had those problems.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I've definitely had experiences with that. I would work on building a better sober network for yourself so that you can, take the edge off of those moments, because I think that they will probably still happen, but then you have like a separate space to break it down. Like, be able to send the screenshot to your friends so that we can all make fun of your sister, in a safer space, and then it makes you feel less alone. Because in those moments, it makes you feel lonely and like you're othered in that moment of like, they still don't fucking see me. They still don't understand me. Why are they doing this to me? But if you can bring that into a safer space where people are seeing you and hearing you, they can celebrate that, like, you're not crazy or alone.
Yeah.
But that sucks. That's annoying.
Yeah, that really sucks.
I don't know if we can blame that on Catholicism, because a lot of people are that dense.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, since it was added in there, I wasn't sure if that's like a thing, like Catholics drink like crazy or something like that, But
I think your advice is strong, of just coming at it with a sincere, like, it really bothers me when you send me Snapchats of your beer on Sunday. Like, I don't want to see it. Send me something else, or don't send it to me at all. Would elicit a different response than a fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
I think that's good.
Send
if
us
y'all
your
have
questions.
Send it to us, seltzerSquadPod@gmail.com.
Put questions in the title, subject.
Yes,
and
please.
Until we meet again, Jessica.
Be nice to yourself, Katie. Don't forget.
Hangovers.
Hangovers suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.